Hello YouTube, it's good to see you guys. Today I want to share with you my experiences with the Chiappa MFour 22 upper receiver. I went ahead and built this upper receiver on an ATI Omni lower with a run-of-the-mill $60 trigger, GI trigger. This was a cheap build. Part of the reason I did it is because I got the upper for a really good price. There was a special and I couldn't pass it up. So I went ahead and bought it, and the price was right, so I was excited. But I was kind of disappointed when I took it to the range because it had a lot of stoppages. This firearm was not reliable by any stretch of the imagination. I'm going to show you guys some footage of that. But me being the tinkerer that I am, and that you have to be sometimes when when you're not spending a ton of money on your guns, I went ahead and fixed the problem. I went ahead and got rid of a ridge that there was at the top of the feed ramp. There was a ridge on the feed ramp that was basically the end of the chamber. So I went ahead and blended that in with some files that I probably picked up at Harbor Freight. I'll show you the ones that I used. I used the circular one and one that's flat on the top and has a semicircle on the bottom. And I went ahead and smoothed it out. And you want to go ahead and make sure that you don't beat up the chamber inside too much while you're doing this. If you nick it a little bit, it's not going to be the end of the world, but you definitely want to make sure that you're not beating up the chamber inside. You don't want to gouge the chamber. You might want to go ahead and put something in your chamber to protect it a little bit. I didn't do that, but go ahead and just smooth out that ridge. Don't go too crazy, just smooth out the ridge and it's going to be a lot more reliable. Another trick for reliability with this firearm is I noticed it doesn't like to feed when the bullets are held too tight in the magazine. So go ahead and underload your magazine and maybe leave your magazines fully loaded, for months to see if you're wearing that spring. But in the short term, go ahead and underload the magazine. Don't put 28 rounds in there, put maybe 20. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and give you an up close look at the files that I used. I started off with a circular file, and then I switched to a file that's flat on top and rounded at the bottom. It's kind of like a tongue. And I just went ahead and smoothed out the feed ramp, and it worked a lot better. I mean a lot better. And I didn't have to dismantle the rifle or anything. I just went ahead and did what I could with the barrel still in the upper. So I took the upper off, and with a barreled upper I just did what I could with this circular and this one here. And what you want to do is smooth out that ridge. All you want to do is get rid of that edge. That's all you want to do, and it's going to work a lot better. Alright guys, this is what your chamber looks like. Right up here is your chamber. Down here is your feed ramp. The problem with the stock feed ramp as it comes from the factory is that it's like a block, and then there's a narrow feed ramp in the middle. Leave all that alone. That's what I did. I left it alone. What I actually filed out was the ridge. The big problem with your factory feed ramp is that it feeds up into an edge, and that doesn't help feeding at all. So what I did is I went and I got a couple of files and I smoothed this out completely. And on the top it's kind of flat. that's for your firing pin to go ahead and flatten the rim. It's actually pretty necessary. I filed that down some on mine. I don't recommend filing it down a whole lot. You may even just want to leave that alone. But what I definitely suggest, and what I did, is I got rid of this ridge. That ridge is very bad for your reliability. It does absolutely nothing for you. So I went ahead and flattened that out with a file, and the gun works a lot smoother. I went ahead and made a drawing of more or less what it ought to look like when you're done. You got your feed ramp here, and it's just blended in with a file. If you like my videos, please like and subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I appreciate your company.